Yes, you must have nurtured your spiritual self and taken yourself on a spiritual journey until you reach the heights of different dimensions. The Catholic Church has always talked about the astral plane, astral lovers, astral parents, and then it rejected and retracted its statement historically. And it said that there is no such thing as an astral plane. And then it changed the story later and it told its parishioners globally to never travel into the astral plane because there's so much danger there. So if one doesn't travel the astral plane that does not exist supposedly, how is it a danger? We have to think for ourselves, people. These higher dimensions are a part of our higher selves. When we think that we have a guardian angel, and when we think that our ancestors are still with us, and we think that we are being protected by a force greater than ourselves that we cannot see, it is true. But all of this and all of these particular beings that we hold dear, they're on higher dimensions. We must learn how to tap into these dimensions. Organized religions will only limit you. But those who have controlled organized religion historically, those who created it to control the masses. And they have provided limited information when it comes to the spiritual realm. And they also have attempted strongly, and they've done so, to conquer the soul or the spirit of mankind. And if they conquer your soul or your spirit, then they have control of it. They're directing it with their information that is provided through your organized religion. But every human being that comes on this planet, every child that is born, and every man or woman who has ever walked this planet, they are born as an individual. And they are as individual as a grain of sand up on a beach. Therefore, each one has their own personal spiritual journey, their own personal spiritual journey. They have a spiritual path that the Creator has designed specifically for the individual. How can a person walk their individual spiritual path if they are given information that's for the masses? They're given information that is for everyone. No individual can soar and be the best that they can be when they all are given the same instruction, when each is an individual and they need individual instruction. This is why I love the Eastern aspects and how they look at spirituality. There are several schools of thought, and that no one is restricted to a specific religious doctrine. And if you're not restricted, you can grow. There are boundaries laid out for individuals in organized religions. There are certain standards that you can never step over. There are different teachings and wisdoms and insights that you'll never be privy to. The best thing a human can be, if you must stay in organized religion, stay there. But you need to understand that you are an individual and your spiritual self, your inner self, is your greatest teacher. There's no other teacher that can teach you how to walk your personal spiritual path. No one else can walk your spiritual path for you. There are people that are going to cross your path. There are individuals that will walk with you down your path few days, few years, a couple of decades, even longer. You cannot keep anyone on your spiritual path because it is individualized by the Godhead for you. Even those that we love, you cannot keep on your spiritual path. If you had the power to do so, no one would make their transition. Those that you love, you would keep them here. You must walk your spiritual path, but you must have guidelines. You must know how to navigate that path. You must know when you run into different caution signs and different areas on your personal path that no other individual will ever encounter. How do you access information for your own personal spiritual growth? By identifying with your inner self and your soul, identifying with it and becoming a seeker of who you are. We are multidimensional beings, and our soul has access to the Godhead. And if we have access to the Godhead, we have access to every dimension that leads us up to the Godhead. And the higher we go up, the more spiritual insight, the more spiritual wisdom, the more communications that we will have with our own higher selves. I'm sorry to say this, but most African American people here in America have been programmed and conditioned. And I'm very fortunate and I respect other cultures, races, and their religious belief systems and their spiritual beliefs. But most races and most cultures understand that there is a hierarchy and they all love to access it. Now, I'm going to show you a picture that will help you at least visualize, and this, of course, from another culture, help you visualize that there are higher powers that are working with you and available to you. Your spiritual guides, your angels, archangels, and many others. I'm going to show you this picture, and I just want you to take a look at this picture. This picture depicts the higher selves of humans. Down here is the human. These are angels. They're on another dimension. They're not down here with you. These are spirit guides. These are other angels, ancestors. And then it goes up. There's even more. You can continuously go up. There's so many dimensions. Now, if you're down here and you have access, these are on one dimension. This is another dimension. This is another dimension. This is another dimension. And it goes on and on and on. And I use this. I use this to help me keep a vision that there is something greater than me working with me every day. And if I can keep this image in my mind, it's a reminder, a subtle and yet an open reminder of who I am and the access that I have to my higher self. We're more than just a human. We are multidimensional beings. And once we understand that and we accept that, we will operate in our own personal spiritual power. And that spiritual power will permeate our physical bodies and give us more physical power. And that power will permeate our mind and give us knowledge, insight, hindsight, farsight. It'll give us sights that will help us navigate on our personal path. We are powerful beings. And I ask you today to begin to step into your personal power as an individual, because you are a multi-dimensional being and don't understand the powers that you can wield.